guys, and thank you for watching. So basically, in this video, I want to talk a little bit about my ancestry and my origin, that of which I am. So I just want to talk about my discovery to discovering my origin, which actually also traces to the British origin and British line and origin. Now, basically, how it started was basically I discovered of my British origin a little later in life when I dropped out of university. Now, pretty much I grew up in America. And I grew up in America, obviously with black hair. And so a lot of, growing up, a lot of people have identified me as an Asian woman because of my black hair. And so I would have believed and thought of myself as a person with Asian heritage. Asian heritage. The thing is, as I said, with Asian heritage, but the thing is, as I said, I didn't know, and so I grew up in America, going to Asian markets. Tôi nhỏ tôi đi tiệm Việt Nam á, tôi mua đồ trong Mỹ, tôi sanh trong Mỹ. Nhưng mà tôi đi tiệm Việt Nam, tôi mua thức ăn Việt Nam cho mẹ tôi về nấu thức ăn Việt Nam á, họ tôi nhỏ. Tại họ tôi nhỏ tôi mua thức ăn Việt Nam không á, tôi đi tiệm đồ tôi mua thức ăn Việt Nam về gia đình của tôi nấu thức ăn Việt Nam. Gia đình tôi thích món Việt Nam, nhưng mà trong gia đình tôi á, tôi cũng có người trong gia đình của tôi nó tựa giống Tàu, tôi cũng có người trong gia đình của tôi nó tựa giống Tàu. So I grew up in America thinking that I was because of my black hair, I was identified with Asian culture, and obviously I went to Asian cultures. But throughout high school, for some reason, I was really related to a lot of American culture, pop culture, and pop icons. I related to pop cultures and pop icons a lot. I really relate to the whole pop culture and pop icons. In fact, my dad did a couple of runway shows back in the day. He did a couple of fashion runway shows when we were living he did a couple of runway shows, and so I really going through high school. I definitely really related to the pop culture icon scene, but the only thing was. No, the only thing was that I had black hair, and that was it. And so I remembered looking in the mirror one day in high school. I remember looking at myself in the mirror one day, and I thought, well, I went to school and I identified myself as an Asian, and I looked at myself and I thought, well, but for some reason I felt as if I had a white inside. Like I felt as if I had a white inside, as I said. I felt as if I had a white inside. And so I said I felt as if I had a white inside, as I said. And so, as I said, I felt as if I had a white inside, as I said. And I remember thinking to myself, I might be, as I said, part European or some sort. I remember looking at myself in the mirror and I thought, well, could have been possible that I may be at least 10% European. I wouldn't know for sure because I had black hair and blue. I had black hair. But I thought, well, because of my personality and stuff, I looked at myself in the mirror and I looked at myself and I thought, well, I could potentially be part European. And so I said, I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought I could be, I said, I could be part European, as I said. Um, and if, and so it wasn't until around the senior of my high school years, as I said, it wasn't until the senior of my high school years, as I said, my mom, revealed for the first time out of all of my years living in America that that I was actually part Fap. And Fap in Vietnamese means French, but during this time, my mom thought it was Japanese. And so later, she told me that Fap means French, and so I thought I was part French, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. So at least I'm a little bit of European of some sort. And so, I went on through high school and university, my university years. And during my university years, I was profiled as a Chinese because during my university years, I actually lost, during my university years, I lost a crease in my eye. One crease in my eye. And so I went throughout university with hair covering my face all the time. So you couldn't see my eyes or anything like that. As I said, you couldn't see. As I said, you couldn't see my eyes or anything. As I said, and so you couldn't see my eyes, and most folks would think that I'm actually of Chinese, descent. When I'm walking down the streets along the UGA campus, university campus folks, university campus folks actually think. University campus, folks think that I'm actually of, Chinese descent or something like that. And I've been racially profiled. UGA is known for it's proud of its racist tradition of slavery, the slavery that happened against the blacks in that school. And there's definitely a huge Martin Luther King movement in the UGA, and you yourself can actually watch this and watch this yourself and see what happened in the UGA campus. Obviously, it's known for its slavery against the blacks, and UGA has a tradition of racism at the school, and they're very proud of it. And so, as I said, and so I was racially profiled. In fact, you can see my UGA student ID I posted on Twitter. You see in this ID how I had hair covering my face, and also I had a photograph where I had a cap that I wore a cap on, and you can find the photograph where I had this little cap on throughout my school years, and so I dressed up like this. And so I came home after University of Georgia with no degree later. I came home, I moved back home, and I remembered, a string. It just went to, I just thought about these string of black men who got shot during this time. There was some kind of racial uproar during this time. And I remember watching a video of one black man after I moved home from University of Georgia being choked out in the streets and his name was Eric Garner. And I remembered watching this, and for some reason it really, really shook me because I knew that somehow this could have been me. I mean, I just watched this, and it has really shaken me very much. As I said, it has shaken me to the point. And as I said, it has shaken me to the point. And I remember during this time, I went through a string of, just sort of kind of complaining, just kind of ranting about, some of the rants on Asian women. because I had during this time when I was going to university, I lost a crease in my eye. Throughout high school, I did have a crease in my eye. I wasn't, but it was university. Throughout my university years, I lost a crease in my eye, and I went without a crease, and so obviously was very insecure of myself during this time. I was during this time I was very insecure of myself, and I was watching, and I had a couple of rants, and I went on a rant, and then I went on a rant. And then actually a couple of years later after this, after I dropped out of university, would be the first time that has been revealed to me that I was of British origin. I mean, before I knew I was some kind of European, but I couldn't capsize on it for sure because obviously I had black hair. So I can't really tell. It's not as if I had like blondish hair, and so it was obvious that I was part European. And so it was revealed to me for the first time that I was actually of British origin. I was actually of British origin, and my bloodline actually traced back to the bloodline of Merlin. And I was actually of Celtic origin, and also descending to the line of the Druids. I was actually the bloodline to the Druids. If you knew in history, in American history, I've talked about how Druids actually were in England, and they were trying to keep the Romans from coming into England, if you've heard of that story. And so I was told I was the bloodline of Merlin, and I was a Druid. And so I looked up British people for the very first time, and extensively, for the very first time on Google. And I've ran to a lot of British people that do look actually really similar to me. We do sort of slightly different, but we look sort of kind of similar to each other. Whereas before, the only impression I had of British people were in American textbooks about the American Revolution against the British, and that British people were really racist, and that was all I knew about it. And I remembered racist, but the only connection I had to the British before I actually extensively researched them was that I noticed that most of the songs that I jived with all came from, the England and the UK. I mean, there's some American music, but I definitely jived with a lot of American music, a lot of American music. And I definitely jived with a lot of the American music that came, a lot of the English music that came out of the UK. And also one of the British folks, one of the several British folks that I have ran into for the first time was, I remember watching Casper Lee when he first came out. I was watching his videos, and I definitely really clicked with him. I jived with him really well. I mean, we just instantly clicked. And from Casper Lee, I've actually met a couple of other British YouTubers, including Josh Peters was his friend. Josh Peters and several of his other friends, including Bertie Gilbert. And obviously, one of the British people that I've met was Harry Styles. But actually, before I have discovered that I was British, I always thought to myself back in high school, at the peak when I was going through rejection, social rejection, I thought to myself, you know what? I dreamed up one day that I'm going to date a British guy. And so I thought of, in my head, the English gentleman that I've always dreamed of. And it looked something like Rupert Grint. And so I dreamed that one day I'm going to meet a guy like Rupert Grint. And so, as I said, right before I found out that I was British, I did watch a couple of British YouTubers that I ran into online, or YouTubers coming from a British country, including Casper Lee. He did some of his videos, and I really liked his videos. And then I met other British folks, including Josh Peters, one of them, Bertie Gilbert, one of them, um, and stuff like that. And I ran into a couple of other British YouTubers, also including Harry Styles. I really jived with, I remembered I was also, I definitely jived with Harry Styles as well. Um, and so, as I said, I jived with all these, British YouTubers, and also was later revealed to me after I dropped out of university, for the very first time, after all of this that has happened to me in America, going through high school, on through college, to the end of my university years where I dropped out, it was finally revealed to me that I was British. But not just British, but I was from the British ruling class. I was actually from the British ruling class, and they told me that I was from the British ruling class. So the British ruling class, as I said, would be, folks coming from. Folks coming from the British ruling class would be someone of the likes of Josh Peters, Bertie Gilbert, Bertie Gilbert. Who else? Some other British folks that I have ran into in Casper Lee's video. Casper Lee himself, I feel, he's also from the. I feel like he's also from the British ruling class. But the thing is, sorry, Casper, I don't really know if you're really British, but I'm just going to tag you in to this video. But I mean, I'll be honest with you, Casper, I definitely really clicked and jived with you and everything you're saying and stuff. But, I honestly, Casper, I really don't know if you're really from the British, if you're really British or not. I just feel like I jive more of one direction. Anyway, and so before I actually discovered that I was of British origin, I was really, as I said, I was really jiving with a lot of the music that's coming from England, including some of One Direction's song. I actually, sang some of the national anthem songs that was actually in some of the British One Direction, some of this British One Direction song. I definitely really jived with it. I mean, I listened to it without knowing, and it was revealed to me a little later that I was actually of British origin. And so, as I've said, this is, and I knew that some of the, and so, as I said, Rupert Grant was the ideal English guy that I hope to dream of dating one day, that proper gentleman that I dream of dating one day. And so basically I discovered I was British. And this is quite important. Had I known that I was British, I thought, going through UGA, my life would have been easier. A lot of University of Georgia students love to talk about England. I remember I was in the bus stop, and with my face covered up. I mean, I wasn't dressed up like this. Like I'm dressed up like a doll, as you see. I got eyeliner, I got my little hair bow, my hair did, so I look like a doll in this video. But literally, I remember going to that UGA bus, and there was this girl. She was talking about how she's going to visit Great Britain. She's going to visit England. She was just talking as if, she had some kind of an arranged marriage with some British guy in England, and she's on an official business matter. I mean, not an official business matter, but I remembered, sort of kind of eavesdropping on that as I had this cap on my head, and I remembered her talking about how she's going to visit England without realizing that I myself was British. I was actually of British ancestry. And so now that I found out that I was British later in life, I'm actually attempting to reach out to my, British brothers and sisters lost cousins, mates, whatever you call it, who are in the UK right now. Now, obviously, I'm strained of transportation, so I obviously cannot transport. But if I had money, if I could transport to New York or whatever, and meet some British folks coming there, I would. But had I had the opportunity when I was going to school and I was traveling, when I was in university, I probably would have had a better chance to meet a British person there. I'm not saying that I can't now. I'm just saying that now I'm actually trying to reach out to my lost British brothers and sisters through Twitter. So I was told that my ancestor, my ancestors was from the British ruling class, as along the lines of Josh Peters, Casper Lee, and stuff like that. Along the line of Josh Peters and Casper Lee, I was told that I myself was from the British ruling class. Now, to all my British comrades, British cousins, whatever, sisters, brothers, whatever, if you guys are watching this video, I have to tell you that it's important for you guys to watch this video, because, as I said, I'm going to be sending correspondences to you as they come. Okay, concerning the condition that is happening in America right now. Now, you ask, how does America affect the UK? Well, you'll know, because if you start getting a lot of tourists coming from America, obviously, there's something happening in America that's affecting Great Britain right now. And so, as I said, because of that, if you have a lot of, visitors and tourists, and because I've actually watched some of the YouTube videos, I've noticed some British people making friends with Americans, because you guys have this kind of association with America, it's important for you guys to know that means that the future of America, in a sense, will be somehow interconnected and will affect the UK in some kind of way. And so it's important, you guys, to watch my videos, because I'm going to give you some updates and latest updates and feedbacks on what is happening in the condition in America right now, that I'm going to relay some information to you guys, my lost brothers and sisters in England. As I said, so please watch my videos, watch my tweets, watch out for my tweets that I send over to you, because I feel that some of the tweets that I send over to you does have pertinent information. What happens in America will affect you, as long as you continue to build bonding relationships with America. Somehow, what happens to America, it will affect, I believe, you guys. So what I'm saying is, if you have connections with America, what I'm saying is, guys, please watch my videos and tweets for more of what is to come. Yeah. So, as I said, so please watch my videos. Please watch my videos on of more of what is to come in America. As I said, I'm going to be sending correspondences to you as they come. As I said, I am your lost sister, kindred sister, in kindred, lost sister. If anything, and so I'm here to kind of watch out for you guys, my lost brothers and sisters, my cousins in the UK. I'm watching out for you. Okay, I'm watching out for the British nation, the British countries. Okay, so I'm watching out for you guys. So please watch over my videos here. As I said, I'm actually keeping watch over you and trying to help you guys out. Okay, so, and I'm your kindred sister in spirit, and I'm watching over you. So what I ask you to do is to please watch my videos or my tweets for more information that is to come for you guys. And thank you so much for watching this. This is part in Jesus' name. Thank you so much. Thank you.